Hello guys, and welcome to this little replay cast. I'm covering the semi-finals from the NA group here, or the international group you might say. So we got Pokebunny, Maktub, or formerly known as Sunny, Coffee Ninja, Wildpet, Vow, and Reason. So that's a super strong group if you ask me. Um, if I had to pick a top three, it would probably be Pokebunny for sure, because he's like the godfather of the game. And then Woe and Maktub. I think those are my picks. But really, I wouldn't be surprised by any of these guys making it through. Arguably, Pokebunny might not be in the best shape right now because he hasn't been practicing that much. But I don't know honestly. I'm glad to find out. Now, um, we do not actually know who is who here because I'm casting it off of a replay and not off of the observer position. So the first wave is coming in. Only one guy, Navy, has been sending the. Sorry, I mean Brown has been sending early. So this should be very easy to hold. Now here comes a very big send from Peach into Turkeys. He's probably gonna do the trick here. Yes, he does. Could have been executed a bit more clean though. Uh, so yellow is spreading his archers all over the place. I'm not liking this a lot. Sometimes you have to do it to not leak lives, but then I would sell those. Now another. Okay, looking at this amount of wolves, I think the towers should be able to hold. But still, I don't like being so far away from a line. I would prefer something like this, as Mint is doing it here. Now Navy has gotten the whole line covered already, and so Brown does not, but he should be doing so right now. Oh, this doesn't look pretty. Uh, he should be able to hold most of it though. If not all of it, okay. Fair enough. And he still has this gap here open. That is pretty good in case the next big early game attack comes, like a Skelly Wave for example. Then you can first path the units into the shortest way, which is here, and then you close it down so they have to walk all the way down here instead of directly walking into the cone like that and those archers not being able to shoot. So that's another little early game trick that a lot of good players do. We should be leaving the wolves and sheep stage now, so the first big skelly waves are coming. We got one from turquoise, but it doesn't look too threatening if you ask me. Oh, here we have a big acolyte sent from brown into peach. Oh, that's a nice way. The acolytes, you always want to split them up so that they're not healing all together each other. So I like first having the group walk in here and then you let half of them through and then you cut it here so the other half has to walk across. That looks really pretty. Let's have a look at the income. They all look rather similar so far. Navy being behind, but it's only by a tiny little bit, and he's good in the mace value game. So far, they all definitely still doing very well. Nobody has had any early game blunders that are unforgivable. Here we have a very big um, spider wave into Mint's base, but he's handling it with two crushers, so that is two early crushers. By the way, I completely forgot what tech they had, so I will be curious to see the first tech towers. Seeing two crushers and a lot of cutters so far indicates to me that it might not be the strongest tech, or perhaps something like arcane. Oh, we have a lot of grunts coming in to peach space from brown. Now again, he's trying to split them up a little. I would put in one here now and build this one up exactly. Now the grunts, they have a lot of regeneration, as you can see, much more. So if you have only archers in your maze, they have to all together focus fire one grunt. So you need a lot of micro, Otherwise, the grunts will just be tickled by the archers, and they're not really going down. But once they get into this little part with the grinders, with the 30 gold, you can handle them pretty well. So nice job. Oh, we see it's an arcane tech. Alright, we have Spellslinger. Do we see the tech here? We don't, unfortunately. So I'm changing into the observer position from Chris. I think this might be smart. Good thing that not only the players were in the game, so we don't have the in-game sound as strongly as before. Alright, now this is just a spam send of grunts. He's not trying to do anything with it anymore. What do we have here? Yeah, they all look pretty set in their mazes, gotta say. Not much of a hole here. Oh, here we have a bigger Mud Golem send. Now, against Arcane Tech, the Mud Golems are pretty strong because of the fortified armor type. So Arcane, which is the main damage source, only deals 66% of damage to them. So if Turquoise sends some air on top of it now, I think that's gonna be a hard one to defend. Let's see. Yep, here comes the airwave. And he put in a lot of cutters. This is so to have normal damage, so that at least he's doing something sensible against the Mud Golems. But this is a very strong combined send. As you can see, yellow is having to invest big time to defend this 4.7k mace value already. And that's a ton of... Okay, he makes an... Wow, that looks really nice. He made an emergency upgrade with all the crushers to slap the shades away. And now because they cost some good gold, he sells all of the crushers and he rebuilds the cutters behind them. It has become really meta to have one line of cutters in your very back. We see it here, we see it here. I think we see it everywhere really. And there's some reasons to that. One is of course to hold the shades, but this is more of a gadget. The main reason is to hold the dragon spawns, who are super strong in the early mid game. And if you upgrade those to the 5k maulers, I think, then they are pretty well at defending the dragon spawns in the very back. So we see Turquoise going for a lot of crushers here. There seems to be some thought behind it. I like this crusher, it's a free hitting spot. So you have it hit once, they come here, twice they come here, and then a third time they come over here. And altogether, this one also in a free hitting spot. Those two only twice. Those two as well. Or this one I should say. This one kinda... No, this is only a 2. Okay, interesting to see a lot of crushers. And he's trying to stack them up into something like a horizontal line. So that in case air gets through, the entire width is covered. That looks really pretty from Turquoise here, gotta say. Oh, so we have Frost and Arcane. What is that again in terms of combination? I think it is an Arcane ultimate. It might be the Jaina, right? Is it Jaina with Icicle? Yeah, I think that is the tech here. So that is a very hard tech. Usually neither Jaina nor Icicle is the standard in the end maze right now. So it might turn into some low income sudden death games here. Let's see, we have income wise the biggest discrepancy is between Mint, who's at the lower end but has the highest mace value, and I would say Turquoise and Peach, who are at the top end in terms of income. And Mint has also only 22 life, so Mint is falling back a little bit here so far. Seems like Yellow is pressuring him really well. And Turquoise and Peach, they're both doing really good in mace value and really good in income. And also they both at 50 lives or above. So if I had to guess, I would put either Vo, Maktub or Pokebunny onto those 2 spots. But I can't really recognize it from their mazes, I must tell you honestly. A lot of top players, they can recognize the tiny little nuances in the mazes of the players, but I can't really, or not yet. Only some obvious things I recognize. But so far, so standard. We have a big troll wave coming into Brown's maze here. But the Spellslingers, with their magic damage, they are pretty good at handling the trolls. So for as long as he's... but he's upgrading a lot of watchtowers to have even better damage. I think I would have just upgraded the Spellslingers, to be honest. But not really sure. This looks like quite some leaks from Brown here. We got 3 of the Wind Riders already, and that's gonna be like 10 trolls. Oh yes. Oh, really nice. So good job from Navy here. Making sure he is known. And stealing a good chunk of lives. Brown down to 36, Mint down to 19. So Mint is the one we want to have an eye on. Oh, and we see a lot of Voidwalkers coming in. Now those with the heavy armor type, they eat good damage from the frost. But then again, those early frost towers, they don't really do much damage. And if you upgrade them, they turn into piercing damage from the icicle. But all of the Spellslingers, they are also magic damage, so both early techs are. So the Voidwalkers aren't actually that good in this tech, I would say. And now here we see he's rebuilding the maze, so they don't really know where to go anymore. That's always a nice little thing. When you have the strongest offense coming in, is where you want to like change your maze from the early game box, as you had it here still, into the more late game setup. So then sometimes they get confused, the units, unless you manually repath them, where you just, you as the sender have to click on your own units, and then you keep sending them again, or you just tell them to go with right click, and then they recalculate the ideal path, so to say. Now the dragon spawns I think will be much more of a threat. Dragon spawns and turtles, those are going to be the hard ones to defend. We see some turtles coming in now, but really Mint's mace value is so big, I don't think he's got any problem defending here. So let's check somebody else. Okay, we see some dragon spawns coming through here. They might get up until here and then he might upgrade those into the 100 gold or 150 gold ones. Yeah, arguably even the maulers or the executioners, exactly. So that's the pretty hold we were talking about in the early mid game. I think that wasn't even necessary, but might have done the same in this situation. So we see an entire box of sorcerers, and they're also charged up by yellow. I like this, it's very good damage. And they both have, he has 2 lines of cannon towers for some siege damage. 1k at the very edge here, because this is a bit the risky spot where he might break you open, just as well as here. So also 2 towers thick here. So very nice little, how should I say, adjustments in the building. In terms of travel time, this might not be ideal, but it's very safe way of building. Also having 2 lines of cannon towers already, of course. The same thing we see here, or even 3 lines if you account for the frost towers, and 3 thick down here. This reminds me a little bit of who was it, Milo? But of course Milo's not playing in the group here. Or this one, I should say. So where are the lives going? 12 lives have been stolen. I suppose that was Brown who just lost some. Oh yes, Brown down to 24 actually. So now, ooh, the turtles have been leaking big. Does he? Yeah, he doesn't really have siege damage. Those don't do anything in the 100 gold version. But he's got a lot of executioners. Again, I think with this tech, there is no pretty way of holding the sea turtles, because the only siege damage you have is the cannon towers, and they are a bad damage source overall. Now we have a big air wave coming in, so I think he's gotta upgrade a lot of those. Wonder how Brown's gonna hold this. I think I put my money on Brown early, but now it's not looking too pretty, not gonna lie. Okay, those are gonna be cut down very well by the line here, but the air is going through. Oh boy, down to 9 lives. So that is super risky. He needs to steal some back now, but he's sending into Peach, and Peach has 88k income already. So I don't see it happening that he's gonna steal much. So Brown under big pressure so far. And Mint has been, I mean, he's down to 60k income, so that is very hard, but at least he has stabilized it in terms of lives. He should not be leaking here either. I don't like the Mauler line so much. I would prefer it down here, just because of the surface. You want to give them the free space to hit, so to say. Yeah, most of them have it like that. So now the turtle stage is nearing its end, even though the turtles can still be very dangerous at 100k income when you just send them in masses. They're still good. Now here we have a big dragon spawn sand coming into Peach. I wonder who that is actually. Oh, some going through. Oh, a lot of them going through. So, that was Brown. Okay, so Brown, he prepared a big safe send. Oh, he even put in an attack. I didn't see it, unfortunately. So Brown, he knew he's gotta do something now to get some lives back, or else his life is on the clock. And he actually managed to do it. So now it's gonna be, can he hold the attack which Navy sends into him? And it looks like for the most part, yes, but some Banshees will go through. I don't like the Wreckers so much at this stage of the game. Yeah, but only losing 7 lives here, that was quite good. Because it was a big offense from Navy, who is in 140k income, 322 value. Yeah, Navy is doing pretty good in the field so far, I would say. And he's got a whole line of Archmages. I think they do the stun. Oh, but they're not doing much against the Infernal, so Mint is determined to steal some lives now. Most likely he will put an air wave on top of it. Oh, and now he rebuilds, so we might see the puffing trick again. Okay, okay. That looked a bit weird. Yeah, yeah, okay. Oh, wow, he chuckled him one lane up, that was pretty. But perhaps if you made just the entire maze faster, they would have run a bit weirdly. A bit more even. So we got the big Banshee wave on top of the Infernals. And how is he gonna deal with them? I suppose the answer is not really. Uh-oh. Yeah, well, he's got 80 lives, so this is a calculated loss here. He didn't want to invest so much to hold it, because it would have thrown him back in income. Alright, now Brown, he's going to collect the Infernals, a little income sweet for him. Now Turquoise and Peach, they're still ahead in income, and this time by quite a bit. They're starting to separate themselves from the field by about 50k margin, so that is significant. And also they're not that far behind in mace value, at least Turquoise is doing very well. Peach is a bit low, oh, but he just had to put in a big chunk here, because we see a ton of Death Revenants into his mace. Now I think the Death Revenants they're gonna be easily held. First of all, they have their armor sucked down already by a line of Icicle, and then the entire maze or 2 boxes full of spell damage is really good against them. So Peach, he overbuilt a little bit here if you ask me, but it's not necessarily bad, because there was of course a follow-up play to the Revenants, which is the Crypt Fiends, and they're gonna be held as well. I would be surprised if they even make it till here. So nice defense from Peach here, he's out of danger. Brown might be in trouble a little bit, and Mint, judging by their mace value. Oh, we see Wendigos now. I think the Wendigos are one of the biggest threats on this tech, because, well, you can suck their armor down a little bit, but it's not siege damage. So if you pair them up with the Spirit Walkers, I think they're gonna go through in the big leagues in this sort of tech. So let's get back to them later, I suppose. He's not in trouble here. Oh, and I like how Navy put in one big artillery tower, one ultimate, and in a spot where it gets to hit as much as possible. This is like the sweetest, or one of the sweetest spots in the maze, and he designated it for the big artillery tower so that he can put some good damage on the slowed Wendigos. I like this play, even though arguably the damage from this tower is not so good. I would do something similar in his situation. Now we've got a lot of kobolds going through here. Oh, Mint is in big trouble. Oh, that might be like a 20 lives leak. Let's check. I don't see the lives leaked, unfortunately. It's a bit hard to keep track. But he's down to 10 here. Even less than that. I think with the next big attack, Mint's days are over. But he might still be able to clutch out the hold here. He's upgrading all of the maulers into ultimates here. Now they help out a little bit, but whenever you see this, somebody going for the ultimate maulers, that's like an emergency play. This is really not pretty as you would want it. Now they should be teching by now, and we see the ultimate crystals. That was the light tech, like the shroom tech. I like it because they suck down the armor really well, and their DPS is rather big. And turquoise, in addition to that, also going for the storm commanders right away, which will give you orb later, of course. Everybody wants this tech. So he's getting prepared here. Oh, and this was a really nice preemptive or preventive play, because now it's as if he was anticipating a huge send, and here it comes. All those necromancers, they're not really bothered by the magic damage, but the crystals do big damage to them, and so do the storm commanders. So that was really textbook hold here. I might be thinking that turquoise is Pokebunny by now, but might be Maktub or Vo or whoever really. But he's doing really good plays, I must say. Even though his income lead is not what it used to be, he's always prepared, always ready. Now some Griffins he will leak, but oh wow, Mass Jaina upgrades, and even I wouldn't even be surprised if he manually told her what spell to cast so that he leaks as few Griffins as possible. I really like that. Now Brown down to 3 lives, oh boy. And only 2.7 million mace value, so he's feeling the pressure here. But so far nothing happening to him. Let's see who might be interesting. Yeah, the lowest mace value is probably the one I want to watch most for. And this is mostly because he didn't seem to have. Yeah, he did tech a little bit. He also teched into the crystals and into the Jaina. Oh no, Jaina was already there. So he only has one tech so far, which is the light. I would recommend him to build this part here right now, just so he's ready for the Griffins when they come. And he already has the light tech. But it's easier said than done, of course. You have to be at a lot of places at the same time. Oh, we got some trapped Wendigos in here. So Navy is not fooling around either. Now he's got to hold the Griffins, but he will do that without shrooms, no problem. Those do good damage, and so do the Archmages. I was actually expecting to see some more big Wendigo Necromancer saves that could have killed somebody, but perhaps I just missed them. It's a bit hard to keep track if you don't get the feedback with the lives lost and stuff. So Turquoise still curving away, I would say. Is there any pressure on him? I mean, Peach is sending into him, so theoretically he's got really hard pressure on him. This does. Yeah, it's a nice little mix of different units, different auras, but this is not gonna get far. Now the A-bombs, I don't think the A-bombs are that good either. Again, they got heavy armor, which eats a lot of damage from the magic sources, and he's got a lot of magic damage in his mace. Now, what kind of slow do we have? We have the water, and from Mint, we don't have the water, but he's rather relying on the Arc, the Kirin Tor wizards. They also do cast like a Frost Nova. Usually, everybody goes for either the Sludge for the slow or for the Lich, but with this particular tech, you can delay the slow a little bit, or this slow, because you can rely on the Jainas into the late game. You just don't have to, you may not miss the transition, so to say. Now also Sludge is here. What do we have here? Just a few Jainas. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of crystals here. Oh boy. An entire box of crystals. Most of the time we see them build the crystals in like a big horizontal line whenever they can, but Navy chose to go for an entire box of those. So a little bit of deviation in the play here. And Mint and Brown, oh, big Griffin wave. Oh, but he's ready. Nice emergency upgrade. Yeah, he's gonna leak like 5. Oh, but there is a huge wave of Chaos Wardens behind them. He's gonna leak some more lives, definitely. He might go down to 40 or something like that. Alright, interesting. So Turquoise getting a lot of heat here from Peach. That was a big save send for sure. He's down to 37. Alright, 35. Not bad, not bad. And Turquoise only on 7 million mace value. Perhaps he could have invested a little bit more once he saw it. But yeah, I mean 35 lives is not the most. Let's see what we have from Yellow. He's definitely together with Peach, both at about 100 lives. Now Peach, he's also second in income, so he is my favorite right now when it comes to winning the game. But second might be, well, it's hard to say. Once Turquoise gets to crack Yellow, he can collect all of the lives, of course, because he's got the income lead. But if he's able to do that with sudden death happening in 1 minute, it's really hard to say. So my pole position right now is Peach, and second might, yeah, it's hard because Turquoise might get nuked right away. Hmm. And I'm surprised how Mint and Brown are both still in the game, honestly. They have been durdling around on 8 lives forever now. That is actually really speaking to their defensive capabilities. As you can see, they're all transitioning into the late game maces now. You want to have at least like 25 orb keepers, which we see here. We see them here. We see them, not so many here, but they're getting up. Oh, that's a big send actually into Brown's mace. Is he trying to kick him out towards the end? Or is this just a spam send? It's hard to say. But there is a lot of maulers, or the ogre magi is still in there. Yeah, actually Brown might get out here. Ooh, but it's super close. Oh, whoa, whoa. Both down to 7 lives. Ah, this is from sudden death. Now he's on 6. He might actually be holding, but boy is this close. How about Mint? Okay, Mint has his mace free. Now it's about all of them trying to get the mace value up to like 20 millions as soon as possible. We see 2 full lines of Glyph from Yellow, so he definitely wants to defend the early Phoenix play. And then we see Enforced Path down here. This is also standard. Now, I don't get this sent here, honestly. This is already in sudden death and it's not doing anything anymore. I think this is more out of muscle memory. Happens to all of us sometimes. Now here we see the first big wave coming in from Peach, and I think if he's going for it, this is the one where he tries to nuke Turquoise out of the game, because Turquoise is second in income, so the sooner he kills him, the better. So this sand is definitely like 10 millions prepped up. And Peach, he's not 100% ready yet, as you can see with the mace value, but he's really focusing on the sand himself. Now he prepped up his mace value very big. So perhaps Turquoise is going to survive. Yeah, nah, I think Peach measured this really well. He doesn't even have to send the frost. Oh, now he's sending some frost on top. Yeah, Turquoise is out. And Peach is also getting some leaks because he chose to attack first, which was smart, I think. He can take the hit now. And now Navy is in the second position, I would say. Navy is positioned to get second because he will steal a lot of lives here. He's back up to 58. And oh, what happened here? Oh, was that a disconnect? No, that's such a pity. Now I was casting the whole game and I don't know who won it. Oh no. Oh no, that was such a pity. I think that is because the replay came from Vo initially, who was the brown player. I just didn't want to spoil. and he seemed to have had a disconnect. So now there's gonna be a little bit of a troll cast. But sorry, guys. I'm pretty sure that in the end, who was it? Peach would have taken that game. And also the second place, and it was indeterminate, the second. Oh no, did they actually replay this match? I'm not sure really. Wow, so late in, that's a pity. Well, anyway, that was the first game with a very unexpected end. I did not expect this either. So I hope to see you in the second one, where we will surely see a winner, because to my knowledge, this only happened in one game. I thought I got only the completed games, but turns out this was one of those three. So, hope you had fun and see you.